This twist reveals a lot about the Flames' future. Calgary Flames General Manager Craig Conroy has continued his signing spree with the team's RFAs by re-signing Morgan Frost. But there's a twist regarding the term that reveals a lot about this team's plans for the future. We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And YouTube is actually telling me that only around a third of the people watching are subscribed, so if you could do me that solid, hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot. I sincerely appreciate it. But let's get into how we have another signing to discuss. Obviously, Craig Conroy has done a little bit in terms of free agency when it comes to UFAs, signed a couple players, but it's more so the talk of the signings of the summer have been obviously the RFAs. We have another here in Morgan Frost. We've already signed Coronato, Klapka. There's been others as well, Kevin Ball, of course, but here is another big one. So the Flames have signed RFA forward Morgan Frost to a 2-year, $4.375 million cap hit. The first year it's under 4 with a $500K signing bonus, and then next year it'll be 4.375 and an 8-team no trade clause. How sick are we getting of hearing about no trade clauses? But this does cover one UFA season, so that would obviously be, I believe, in the second one, of course. So this was repped by Darren Ferris, and then the first to actually announce it was Dollawell Sports. So all credit due to them for, I guess, getting it out there originally. But this is extremely interesting. The twist on this is that it covers the one UFA season, and it's only a 2-year deal, which is extremely, extremely interesting. I think it really hints towards what the Flames are going to do heading to the future. So Pat Steinberg here, he doubled up by saying, per Puckpedia, the AAV on Frost is 4.375 mil. After it was kind of originally reported, I guess that would be 4.5-ish by Elliot Friedman. So he'll be a UFA when the contract expires in the summer of 2027. So yes, his RFA status will be done. As we saw, this deal does cover one UFA season as well. So yes, he'll be a UFA at the end of it. Now, another thing to take note of is that with Morgan Frost re-signed, the Flames now have 23 players on one-way deals, 3 goalies, 8 D-men, and 12 forwards, and $80.99 million in cap commitment so far, so essentially 81 mil. Connor Zary left to sign among the major RFAs. They still have 14.51 mil in cap space left, so still a little bit of room to wiggle. Maybe give Zary a deal. A lot of people are thinking now that we have seen the twist on the term of this Frost contract, we could see something similar with Zary. Now, it is interesting overall. Let's think about it for a second here. Frost only getting the 2-year, I think, really means that he himself is not in the plans for the future. Look, I love Frosty. He plays a very exciting game, but the stats just aren't there. He's my buddy I ran into in that restaurant in downtown Toronto. What a nice guy. But it just shows he's not really in the plans for the future, and that Conroy isn't afraid to sign these really short-term deals for RFAs that could really show that, look, the team is ready to replace you, whether it's internally with some of our up-and-coming forwards that we saw towards the end of the season, like Sam Morton, and there's other guys, Rory Cairns, the list goes on. But could we see something similar for Zary as well? Look, if you want a short-term deal, we can replace you when it comes to, your UFA status at the end of your next contract, whether we replace you internally or externally as well, once the team is ready to contend. So this Morgan Frost signing has maybe given us some insight into Zary. For all we know, it could be the complete opposite, and Zary could get, a 7-year deal or something. But it is interesting that moving forward, it seems as though the team might not be ready to just totally commit to Morgan Frost. But let's try and keep things, positive. Give our congratulations to Frost and actually get some of his quotes after this signing took place. I believe we have some quotes in here from Frost and from Craig Conroy as well. So Morgan Frost isn't the type to get nervous. And this is an article that was published by the Calgary Flames themselves, so whoever writes for them. But even the most level-headed and steely-eyed sort can't help but feel butterflies in a situation like that. I think when you first get traded, there's a big adrenaline rush for the first few games, said Frost, who was acquired by the Flames from the Flyers nearly 2/3 into last season. It almost takes you back to your first career game when everything is new and you're not really sure how you'll fit in. At least that's how it felt with me. That was how Frost was, I guess, welcomed to Calgary, I suppose. You obviously want to leave a good first impression on your teammates and the coaching staff, so I put some extra pressure on myself. And now, I feel like I can come into the new season feeling good about how I finished the year and knowing I can really build on it. And that's great. That's exactly what you want to hear with a player who I guess signs with your team. Now, yes, of course, he was an RFA. He was essentially going to have to unless he was offer sheeted, but that's great. Just some great quotes there from Frost, a great attitude to have. Frost, who recently returned from a Canada Day frolic at his Ontario cottage, will do just that after re-upping with the Flames Thursday for 2 years at $4.375 million per. In 32 games in the Flaming Sea last year, the 26-year-old put up 12 points, 3 goals, 9 assists, so not exactly the best stats there, with 2 of those tallies coming in his first 5 spins with the club before some offensive struggles. And yes, that can't be understated. It was really disappointing for a long stretch. With a career 9.6 shooting percentage, it's clear to see that with his 5.2% of red silks speak to being snake bitten. After all, this is a player that's flirted with the 20 goal mark in the past and is only 2 seasons removed from a career high 46 point loop. His tantalizing mix of speed, skill, and smarts make him a strong bet to regain his offensive form sooner than later. When he looks back on it now, Frost can only laugh at some of the glorious chances he had but couldn't cash, and there were many. It was a combination of wild puck luck, a disallowed goal because of a hostile offside challenge, a couple of goal line stands, and even a few posts that had his eyes peering at the heavens as if to say, really. He really was snake bitten. That is almost the definition of it. Felt like every game I was getting at least one grade A scoring opportunity, Frost said. Obviously, there's the classic hitting the post, but everyone goes through that. So yeah, it was a little frustrating at times, but that's the way the game is. And it truly is. If you're someone who's ever played, that's how it is. That's why some of the best players are so great, because they capitalize on those chances. That's what I'm working towards. And maybe I'll have to spend a few hours working on my shot this summer, he added with a laugh. Little sense of humor there. He knows he needs to pot some of those, get some Genos on the board. Offensively, a rejuvenated Frost could do wonders for the Flames. Calgary was one of the NHL's lowest scoring teams last year with an average of 2.68 goals per game, 4th from the bottom in the NHL's overall ranking. Flames General Manager Craig Conroy pointed to this on Tuesday, saying the Flames don't have one guy that can work themselves out of a year-long goal-scoring rut, but that by committee and with players like Frost, Joel Farabee, Coronato, Zary, all taking a step together, they can help build up the franchise and become more of a threat on a nightly basis, which is what we need. It can't just always be Kadri. Conroy's comments weren't a shot across the bow per se, but he did want to send a message to his younger players of what the expectation is. Frost hears it, just like you can hear the passion in his voice when describing what his goals are for the upcoming campaign. And let's take a beat here. So Conroy's comments in saying that, I think also gives us a little insight into the future, puts a little twist on it that, look, if you're not producing, and he's saying this to the young guys, if you're not producing, we aren't going to keep you around for that long. Obviously, Coronato showed he could. He got a longer contract. Frost couldn't. He didn't get that longer contract. What will we see with Zary? I'm genuinely so curious. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from this Frost signing. Other than that, obviously, we have Frost back for at least another season and a half, I guess we can say, before the trade deadline in 2027. But yeah, let's continue. Through a positive end-of-season chat with head coach Ryan Huska, he knows exactly where he stands, what the objectives are on a personal and team level, and how he figures to play a prominent role in getting the Flames over the bump and back to the playoffs. It's definitely an exciting day, Frost said of the 2-year pact. Every team around the league talks about how they have such a close group, but here you could really feel it, and that speaks to the work that was put in by the coaches, management, and leaders in the first half of the season. We were doubted right from the start, and no one believed he could get as close as we did to the playoffs. So I think having that chip on our shoulder brought everyone together because we wanted to pull it off and prove people wrong. What we have in our room, it's such a good mix of having that business mentality while having fun at the same time. There are a lot of good guys, good leaders in that locker room, and that sets the tone for everyone. And it certainly did with me being the new guy thrown into a new situation. I can't wait to come back in the fall. And I think we're all pretty excited to see Frosty back. Hopefully he can really get going, get on a hot streak, get out of that rut he was in for almost his entire tenure as a Flame. Man, he plays exciting hockey. But if he can start getting some more points, some more production, the Flames could be much better offensively. And he just seems like a great guy, excited to be here, which you just love to see. Now let's get into the comment of the day, as we love to do here on the channel to wrap up the video. And this one comes from that wild video yesterday about Kadri to Toronto rumors, which I'm sure will continue. I'm not going to lie. Can't say I'm going to be making many videos on it. But either way, D. Chappelle here said Cowan, Robertson, and a 2026 third for Kadri with $1.5 million retained. Now, I don't know who says no to this. I will let you guys decide in the comments, but that is a crazy trade proposal. Some Leafs fans seem like they really want Kadri no matter what it means for the future because they just want a cup now, while others make it seem like, Kadri is the most washed bum ever and they want Cowan and Robertson and whoever else around for the long run, which fair enough. Either side makes sense. And Flames fans, same way around. Some are like, oh yeah, Cowan would be great to pick up, while others are like, we don't want Toronto's trash. I don't know. Everyone just says a little bit of everything, but this is a very interesting trade proposal. Again, I'll let you decide how realistic it is down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.